Hey everyone, Kathy and I have now been slow traveling for 1 year. Last February 25th, we flew to Alicante, Spain. We spent a month there, then moved to Barcelona, Spain. Then we went to Tirana, Albania, then Saranda, Albania, then Ohrid, North Macedonia. We went back to the States for a couple weeks in August, and then set out for Central America and South America. We spent a month in Mexico City, then we moved to
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. We were in San Jose for a while. We were in Manuel Antonio for a while. And we moved down to Panama City, Panama, and we are currently in Medellin, Colombia. So that's 10 cities, 8 countries, and we actually count the beds we sleep in, so we're up to what?
I didn't look before we did this video.
I think it's 21.
About, okay, I was
21
going to say
different
19
beds.
or 20, so, yeah.
And a couple of things that I wish I knew more about before we traveled. In no particular order really, but the language. For the most part, we were in Spanish-speaking countries and have been in Spanish-speaking countries, which we know a little bit of Spanish, but not that much. Google Translate has been our friend throughout this whole adventure.
It's been great.
We were in Albania, they speak Albanian. We were in Macedonia, they speak Macedonian. It's completely different than any romantic languages that we've ever learned, like French,
Yeah, that was
Italian.
a struggle
It was a struggle there.
in the Balkans.
In the Balkans. We relied a lot on Google Translate. But the wonderful thing is most folks are very kind. They're very forgiving and very gentle if you put forth a little bit of effort. And our opinion has always been, hey, we're in your country. It's up to us to try to figure out how to communicate with you. And if you show some humility, some grace, and some patience, you really can go a long way.
And I have to say, we have met people along the way in these other countries who do speak some English. And they're very kind and helpful and try to use their English to communicate with us as we struggle with their language.
Right.
And that's always been so helpful.
And many times they're working on their English, so they're happy to try their English out on us. So we teach one another.
Yes, yes. And we learn a little bit of each language in each country we're in, because we do try to learn their language, and we leave that country a little richer knowing even just a few words of their language.
Please and thank you go a long way. And good morning. Please, thank you,
Yeah.
good morning, they go a long way. That's about all I learned in Albania and Macedonia.
And we would like 2 coffees.
That's right. So the other thing is the money situation. Now in 2025, 2026, just about everybody is on credit cards. We did take out money out of the ATM in every country that we've been in, except for here in Colombia. We've been here, and we're in our 4th week in Colombia. We've never taken money out of an ATM. We've used our credit card on every single purchase. But in other countries, that's a little tricky. Now there's apps you can download that does the conversion for you, so you can figure out whether the costs are reasonable or not. And I use that all the time.
Yes, he does.
I do. I use that all the time. So we get by. Yeah. So
We
there's
do,
that.
and we figure out when we're shopping, oh, it's marked this much, it costs this much, but we might have to look on our conversion app a few times to figure out how much it is for us in dollars. But after a while, though, we sort of get the idea of,
Sort of get the
we
idea.
can just sort of figure it out in our minds. And that's just part of being in the same city for a month. We just start to figure things out without having to use an app all the time for language or conversions of prices.
So 2 other things that were really high on my mind when we left the States is, number 1 is, what am I going to do with my phone plan? What we ended up doing was we cut ties with, we were with AT&T for, 20 years. Well, we cut ties with AT&T and we joined Google Voice. And we also use Roamless as an eSIM. Many eSIM providers out there, we landed on Roamless. It's worked really, really well for us. In any given month, on average, we're spending about $25, maybe $30 total for 2 phones. Total. There's no plans, there's no cost for Google Voice. So $25 to $30 a month is a really, really good price. And when we land in any given country, we're still on the tarmac at the airport, and our phones connect to the local carrier through the eSIM. It's been really great for us. We do use WhatsApp a lot when we can. Google Voice, there is a limitation when you're sending pictures. There's a limit to the file size. You cannot send videos. But the rest of the world is on WhatsApp. In the United States, we don't use WhatsApp that much because the carriers have pretty robust infrastructure. But many other countries, doctors, businesses, friends, they're all on WhatsApp, and WhatsApp has proven to be a great resource for us. The other thing is the medical. So, most folks, especially folks our age, are concerned about medical costs. So we use an international medical plan. We use IMG. There are others out there that I'm sure are just as good, but we pay an annual rate for international health care, and there's a deductible that we have to meet before the insurance itself kicks in. We did not hit our deductible last year, and we just re-upped our new plan with IMG just this week. Medical care in most of the places we've been in has been fantastic. Specifically, Panama City. It's got world-class health care there. In fact, the local hospital is affiliated with Johns Hopkins. We were there a couple of times. We did our physical exams there. We did our dental cleanings there. We also visited a hospital in Tirana, Albania. It was maybe not as advanced, maybe not as modern as you might expect in the States, but it fulfilled our needs 100%, and it was very, very cheap. We did have an incident in North Macedonia. Went to the hospital there. Not the greatest, but it filled our needs at the time. We've also been to the doctor here, to the dermatologist here in Medellin. High quality care, great service. The costs were reasonable, for sure. Some folks may be interested in how we plan. Well, when we came to South America, I used to use Google. Now everybody's using AI. I used AI to find out what was one of the safest cities to visit in South America. So I first just asked AI, what's the safest country in South America? What's the safest city? What's the safest neighborhood? So using that tool, we landed on the El Poblado neighborhood of Medellin, Colombia. And we've been here, we're in our 4th week, like I said. It's been fantastic. The streets, the sidewalks, the shops, the shopping, it's just been wonderful. And never felt unsafe. Even walking 8, 9 o'clock at night, we've always felt very safe. The Ubers to get you across town, 4 or 5 miles across town, $4, $5.
And they come so quick.
Yeah, they're here in 2, 3, 4 minutes.
Or 1 minute sometimes.
Or 1 minute sometimes. Sometimes they're waiting on us.
That's right.
You may also be interested in how we pack. Well, we are carry-on only, folks. I have a roll-on suitcase. Kathy has a roll-on suitcase. We both have backpacks. We also have used Airbnb exclusively this past year. Now, there are other folks out there that have YouTube channels that we have a great deal of respect for that don't use Airbnb. They've had bad experiences, and they've just sworn off Airbnb, and I completely understand that. It only takes one really bad experience to turn you off of any company.
Sure.
We have had pretty good success with Airbnb. I'd like to kind of turn it over to Kathy and kind of what are your she does most of the research for the Airbnb, so what's some of your techniques there?
Well, there's a few things that are important to us. We have our own little checklist of what we like. So first of all, Brian gives me a price ceiling. So don't go over this much or this much. So that's the number one thing that I try to do, stay under my price ceiling. After that, I go through my checklist. I like to look for an oven, a hair dryer, hot water. You'd be surprised all the places out there that don't have hot water. We prefer a balcony. We have made some choices where there is no balcony in our apartment, and we've been fine, but it is something we look for.
For instance, this apartment here, no balcony, but there's a wall of windows
we have
here.
these windows.
And it's gorgeous. We have,
open.
we have a breathtaking view, but keep going.
And I love natural light, so I look for a place that when I look at the pictures of the apartments, is there natural light? One other thing.
Did you mention washer?
Washing, yes. A washing machine is very important to us because we're in the same place for a month. We have to have that. Hair dryer, did I say that?
You're also looking for places that have at least how many reviews?
5 or more reviews is important to us. That way I know that it has been tried out by others, and most hopefully the kinks are out of it. Or in the reviews we can read about people's experiences. Hey, it didn't have this, it didn't have that. The host was not very responsive. Bugs, roaches, things like that are shared in the reviews. So I like to see a lot of the reviews, to read through them, but also to know that a lot of people have been there. Another important thing is a kitchen. There are a lot of places that don't have a functioning kitchen.
Yeah, we've stayed a place or two where the kitchen was, it's a stretch to call it a kitchen, but we got by. I mean, one of the things is that we're staying in most of these places for a month. It's only a month. We can get by for a month. So we haven't complained. Most of the time, if you reach out to these Airbnb hosts, they're more than accommodating to get you. Like, for instance, we had to get an ironing board in Panama City. We had it that same day. That kind of
and
thing.
a closed hanger dryer.
That's right,
thing.
clothes dryer, yeah.
It came the next day. So our hosts have been wonderful.
They have.
And that's another thing that I like about reading the reviews is people talk about the host and whether they liked or disliked the host and why. And so we were going into this next city with some expectation of what the apartment will be like. Sometimes the kitchens, oh, you did mention that, don't have just the common essentials like a spatula. We've had to go out and buy a spatula and a frying pan.
Yeah. Some of the accoutrements of home you miss, and so if you want to go out and spend $10 or $12 for a frying pan for a month, not that big of a deal. So Kathy spends sometimes hours researching these units, and then she comes back to me with like, okay, these are my top 3, and we talk about those top 3 and we pick one of those top 3.
And then we look at things that are not essential, but things that we wouldn't mind having, like a gym, or like I said, a balcony.
Swimming pool.
Yeah, swimming pool. We've been in some places that have that rooftop pool.
We're here now, and the place here in Medellin has a rooftop pool, and it's wonderful.
So that's a would love to have maybe, but not a top priority.
That's right.
So.
And when I research the flights, I use Google Flights a lot. Google Flights is just a quick snapshot of what's available, what some prices might be. But I always book through our travel card because we get extra points through the travel card. We actually use Chase Sapphire, and while it's a little pricey on the annual fee, we have gotten much more in return on the points than we do pay for that. So I liken it to our travels, like we're laying down railroad track out in front of the train 2, 3, 4 months out. And it's worked out great for us. It's worked out just great. We actually did take a train from Alicante, Spain to Barcelona, Spain. It was a fantastic experience. It was 5 hours on the train. It felt like an hour and a half.
It was great. We got a little snack in a box that we didn't expect, or I didn't expect it. So just nice little extras. It was a very pleasant ride.
It was great. Now we did buses all around Albania and North Macedonia.
No bathrooms on the buses.
Bathrooms. It was sort of like a cut rate Greyhound kind of experience. did have air conditioning, and it got you to point A to point B safely. So we would definitely do it again.
And there was a little rest stop
There was a
sometimes
little rest
during
stop.
the longer trips,
That's right.
like 25 or 30 minutes off the bus.
So what's in store for the next few months for us? Well, in this weekend, we're heading to Lima, Peru. We're going to be in Lima only for a couple of weeks. Then we're going to go back to the States for about 2 or 3 week visit. Then we're going on a Norwegian Cruise Line's transatlantic cruise, 15 days, back to Barcelona. There's a bunch of stops. Once you get across the ocean, we're stopping in Spain, a few places, and I'm not quite sure. Gibraltar, I think, is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then from, we're going to spend another week in Barcelona. Then we're going to go over to Palermo, Italy, right?
Yes.
Palermo.
Yes.
Um,
In Sicily.
That's as far out as I have the railroad track laid right now. We've got the flights and the Airbnb and that type of thing. But then we're going to move on to Athens, Greece.
Yes. For a month.
And then it becomes a little bit more fuzzy for me.
Then we're going to go up to Albania because we'll have to get out of the Schengen. So we're going to be in Albania maybe for the last 50 days before we go back to the United States.
Yeah. I have a date in August to see Rush with my daughter. So that's an important date on the calendar for me.
So we're going to plan around that. Our last few days in Albania will probably be divided between 2 cities, maybe 25-ish days in each city, and then we'll head back.
Well, we appreciate you joining us for this video, and we hope you like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.
And if you have any questions for us, please just post them below this video, and we can do another video and answer your questions if that's something that you'd be interested in. Let us know.
Okay. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.